If you're looking to spice up your story with more conflict, what's one way you could do that? Multiple antagonists, of course. But can your story have more than one antagonist? And if so, how do you write them in? That's exactly what we're talking about today. Let's get started. Hey guys, Nour here, and welcome back to my channel. For those visiting for the first time, hello, I'm the fantasy author of the novel Divinity Falling. Be sure to subscribe for weekly writing advice videos. An antagonist is an essential element of every story. I think we could all agree about that. But now, if you want to add more conflict, should you add more antagonists? Can you have more than one antagonist? The answer is yes, but only depending on your story and what you do with those antagonists. What I'm trying to say is that not every story needs multiple antagonists, but some can definitely use more than one antagonist to spice things up and keep the conflict going. So while it's possible to have more than one, it's up to you to decide if it's necessary for your story. Now, what's the benefit of having more than one antagonist? Well, you should always have one main antagonist. You know, the big bad. But just because they're against your protagonist and the reason for the central conflict, doesn't mean we'll see them in every chapter. Sometimes they're in hiding or somewhere off plotting. Maybe they're in prison or in another city. Or maybe they're too busy being up to no good. No matter what's happening, we can't always expect the main antagonist to come face to face with the protagonist. Besides, if every chapter included a meeting between the two, readers would get bored really fast. So a benefit of multiple antagonists is that they can keep our protagonist busy and in action even when our main antagonist isn't present. Basically, it's an easy way to add conflict. But now, how do you go about adding more antagonists into the story? First, you have to make sure that each antagonist you create is unique and has their own reason for butting heads with the protagonist. For example, while one might be the main antagonist's lackey or even monster, others might not even be tied to the main antagonist. In other words, these antagonists could come in all kinds of forms and add all kinds of conflicts. An antagonist might be a classmate who doesn't really like the protagonist and constantly bullies him. Or the antagonist could be someone working alongside the protagonist to take down the main antagonist. But this antagonist doesn't think highly of the protagonist. So while this antagonist isn't evil, they're not exactly nice to the protagonist. In all these scenarios, we have different functions for different people, and each ensures that conflict is present on the page. Some of the arising conflicts could be personal, such as the bully hurting the protagonist because they don't like his voice. Other arising conflicts could stem from nothing personal against the protagonist, such as the main antagonist's monster simply doing what it was ordered to do. In either case, the protagonist has a problem, and the reader is entertained. So yes, you can have more than one antagonist. However, be sure to always have one main antagonist behind the central conflict. After all, not all your antagonists can be the big bad. And if you don't think you need more than one antagonist, then don't write more. It's definitely your choice. So that's all I have for you today. I'd love to know, have you ever written a story with more than one antagonist? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I put out weekly writing advice videos that will take your story to the next level. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media to see what I'm up to from day to day and to chat with me. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frayne, Lori B, and Alan J. Early from my shout outs here over on Patreon, as well as all my amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate you. And remember, Nour for president!